This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Jackthreads. Coming up on Destructoid, Rockstar finally shows us the new Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer, reviews are finally out for Black Ops 2, and StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm finally has a release date. All this and more happening right now on Destructoid. Finally.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Wednesday, Max!
Happy Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer day, Tara!
Heck yeah, it is.
Didn't you look at your calendar this morning?
I did. I was there with you. We did
a
video about it.
We had to wake up early because
we did.
Rockstar releases their trailers on Eastern time, apparently.
Worth it! So yeah, we're going to be talking about that in the second half of the show today, but first, Black Ops 2 came
Definitely,
out.
that's another exciting thing. Black Ops 2, Call of Duty, Black Ops 2 with the helicopters and the things, that dropped yesterday, and presumably everyone who wanted it went out and bought it at the stroke of midnight, I guess. However, if you're holding off waiting for reviews, they are in, and they are generally pretty positive. Destructoid's Jim Sterling infamously discredited himself completely in the gaming community by daring to write about how he actually enjoyed last year's Modern Warfare 3, and this week he has taken a shot at journalistic redemption with Black Ops 2. Spoiler alert, he enjoyed that as well. The most obvious change in Black Ops 2 is the near-future setting, and in spite of a campaign that starts off haphazardly, the plot quickly settles into an enthralling revenge tale. At a glance, it's easy to see the variety of colorful new locations and the arsenal of high-tech weaponry, but add to that an elegantly paced story, an interesting villain, and the fact that in-game decisions actually affect the game's outcome, and it's not a huge surprise that Jim called this the best solo Call of Duty experience available. His only real complaint in the campaign was a noticeable lag while picking loadouts before missions, but he said that wasn't game-breaking or anything. Zombies mode has been extended into a campaign-like game that Jim felt was akin to Left 4 Dead a little bit, which has players gathering supplies to get a bus running, and then the bus takes them sort of from map to map. It's a cool idea in theory, but in practice, Jim complained that supplies and ammo are too limited, and not really in a cool survival horror way, more in like a tedious, the game's not playing fair kind of way. These problems don't carry over to the standard zombie survival mode or the new Grief competitive mode, which Jim said was a lot of fun. You got, two teams that are competing against each other as well as against zombies, so it's a kind of a big old free-for-all. A lot of people, of course, play Call of Duty primarily for the regular competitive multiplayer, and while there are plenty of new weapons and maps to keep things interesting, it is still kind of a familiar experience, and it might not be the breath of fresh air that players were hoping for with this newest installment. There are, of course, new weapons and perks to be unlocked, as well as score streaks that'll bring in lightning strikes or personal attack drones. But aside from that, and a more customizable class creation system, it isn't really a crazy overhaul or anything like that. Overall, Jim gave Call of Duty Black Ops 2 an 8.5 out of 10, saying that when you factor in the 3 different modes, Black Ops 2 is a great game from a studio that's done everything it can with the tools at its disposal to reinvigorate the series, and that it does a great job in finding what life is left in the modern military shooter genre. So if you like modern military shooters, you'll probably have fun, though, it's not a sudden upset for the industry.
This is a review, so it's someone's opinion, meaning if you don't agree with it, that is your right.
Yeah, and of course, this is just a summary of the review, so go read Jim's full review over on Destructoid.com. I mean, Call of Duty, this has been the same engine. They've been running it for like 5 years. Anyway, it's
Call of Duty.
It's Call of Duty.
What you're getting with it.
Do you like Call of Duty? You might like this game. Check it out.
So aside from the expected outpour of angry fanboy rage, Black Ops 2 has sparked another kind of rage this week over Mass Effect 2, oddly enough. Yep. Some users who purchased Black Ops 2 on PC began reporting yesterday that the game's second installation disc was missing and had been replaced with a copy of Mass Effect 2. So to clarify, the disc still said Black Ops 2 on it, but apparently some kind of mix-up at the manufacturing plant caused them to be overwritten with data from Mass Effect 2. So it's weird. Definitely not the worst thing that could have happened. It seems to have only affected a small group of people. I think BioWare said around 1,000. And players will still be able to download the game by entering the serial code from the packaging on the package. So, I mean, it does suck for people who waited hours at the midnight launch and, were hoping to play it as soon as they got home, but it's not like the worst thing in the entire world, I guess. In any case, get the pun with that one?
Oh God, I get it, because of jewel cases.
That wasn't intentional, actually, I realized after I wrote it. Anyway, Activision has not yet responded to all of this kerfuffle, but BioWare has, and to please fans, or perhaps just generate some goodwill, they've offered to give away 50 copies of the Mass Effect trilogy to the first 50 people who send in a picture of themselves holding their disc, and I assume with a screenshot of the error, to community@bioware.com. I would venture to guess that they've probably received roughly 5 million emails in the past day, since they didn't actually specify that you had to include the error. So theoretically, anyone with like a Black Ops 2 disc could have sent their photo in. But yeah, if you were one of the people who happen to be affected by this and you want that Mass Effect trilogy, don't get your hopes up just yet.
That'd be pretty funny if they weren't actually doing that and they just wanted a whole lot of pictures of people holding discs. Just put up a gallery. They were like, look who didn't buy Mass Effect trilogy.
Yeah.
These people. Anyway, with the holiday season's jaws closing tighter and tighter around our throats and wallets, it can be hard to choose what we want to do with our money. But thankfully, some video games still have demos. Isn't that nice? Demos?
I am thankful for that this holiday season.
They're like those samplers they have at the grocery store. You get to try a free sample. So EA's main car-flavored offering this year was Need for Speed Most Wanted, which might have gone under some people's radar since it dropped the same day as Assassin's Creed 3. But if you somehow missed it because it was too fast for you, because of cars, there's a demo on PSN and Xbox Marketplace right now that is totally worth checking out. You get access to 4 cars and a chunk of the game's sandbox world, and you can earn up to 50,000 speed points that are transferable if you actually buy the game. I've been playing a fair amount of this myself at home, because I like to just drive the cars stupidly into things, and I've been enjoying it. It's from Criterion, the guys who did Burnout Paradise, and it's kind of the spiritual successor to that. And it's just a fun game with the cars in it. Zach Miner actually reviewed it over on Rev3 Games, and you should go and watch that video if you're too lazy to download the demo. But it's that's like a little racing game that you get for free. That you have to buy the full one.
It's like a racing mini game.
It's a mini game. Anyway, DMC, the sexy new Devil May Cry reboot, isn't hitting until mid-January, but that's not stopping Capcom from dropping a demo on XBL and on November 20th, and then a PSN one a day later. The game has an idiotic amount of hate directed towards it, but I liked what I saw at E3, so I don't know, maybe you guys should take it for a spin next week, and maybe if you like it, you'll feel compelled to hold on to some of that holiday money or gift cards for an extra 2 weeks.
Probably not.
January, the greatest time to release anything ever.
Indeed. So we've got wonderful news for people who are still playing StarCraft 2. The end is nigh. StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm has finally been given a release date. God, it seems like they announced this years ago. Probably because they did. It's going to be coming out on March 12th, 2013, so only 4 more months to go. We are counting down the days. This is, of course, the second of 3 planned expansions for StarCraft 2. It features an entirely new single-player campaign centered around Kerrigan and her fight to control the Zerg swarm and exact revenge on Emperor Mengsk, which is my new favorite word. The expansion also adds new multiplayer units along with updates for the existing ones, as well as some new mechanics. They've got things like clan systems now, they've got global play, unranked matchmaking, and race leveling, which is a new system that rewards players for mastering certain races by granting them special profile customization options like decals and portraits and stuff. So the most bare-bones version of Heart of the Swarm will run you $39.99, and you can pre-order it right now through Battle.net, or you can pre-order the digital deluxe version, which is $59.99, and that comes with some additional in-game content, none of which is really all that exciting. It's like you get a skin and 6 portraits and decals for StarCraft 2, and you also get a Baneling pet for World of Warcraft, and a special set of wings and a banner sigil for Diablo 3. So yeah, like $20 for a bunch of extra customization options that, I don't know, maybe some people care about them. They also have a collector's edition up for pre-order with actual physical items in it. Specifically, you get a soundtrack to the game, an art book, a mouse pad, and a behind-the-scenes Blu-ray, as well as all of the in-game content from the digital deluxe version that I just mentioned. So the collector's edition is priced at $79.99, which is a pretty penny, but still less than most collector's editions.
All in a nice box that won't fit on any normal bookshelf. Let's take a word from our sponsor.
Let's do that. So we all know that video games are an expensive habit, that's just undeniable. But what if I told you you could have more money to spend on video games and look hot as you're doing it? It's not black magic, people, it's Jack Threads. Jack Threads is an invite-only online shopping club that carries tons of cool and stylish clothing brands for strapping young men at up to 80% off what you'd pay in a store. They've got everything from Converse sneakers to fall flannels to holiday gifts for your friends and family, like this cute little Final Fantasy iPhone case. $4. How can you beat that? Typically, there is a wait list to join, but if you head over to jackthreads.com/destruct, you can skip the wait list and get instant access right now. You can also tell your friends about Jack Threads and earn a $10 shopping credit for each buyer you refer. Again, that link is jackthreads.com youtube.com/destruct. They've got lots of good stuff, you guys. Lots of it.
That's true.
Lots of cute fall clothes.
Fall clothes are good because it's cold out, which is why I'm wearing this
Really
coat.
is.
So if you guys missed it, I don't know how you would do that. The eagerly anticipated second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5 went online first thing this morning, and I imagine most of you guys saw it. But if you haven't, you should probably get on that because it's one of the biggest pieces of gaming news that is this year, and it's also a very nice trailer. There's a ton to see in the trailer, and not everyone has the time to go over it with a fine-toothed nerd comb, so I figured I would run down a few notable parts, both highlights and minor details, in no particular order. First of all, the song playing is Stevie Wonder's Skeletons. It's a very catchy jam, and by all means, go listen to it. But for the love of God, don't be one of those people who goes to the YouTube music video and then writes thumbs up if GTA brought you here on Stevie Wonder's YouTube channel.
It's already happened.
I know, no more gasoline on the fire there. That's awful, it's embarrassing. Moving on, we saw in screenshots that Trevor has a neck tattoo with a dotted line that says cut here, and if you look closely, you can see in the new trailer that Jimmy, Michael's son, has a neck tattoo that says entitled, which I think is funny.
In like huge cursive letters.
Because teenagers. More excitingly, there are dogs.
Yes.
Or at least dog. It's kind of hard to miss this one, but hey, there you go. We only see a Rottweiler in the trailer, but it's safe to assume that there will probably be other types of dogs in the full game, though it would be really surreal if there was just a single dog in all of Los Santos.
One dog.
Yes.
It's cool. Is the guy like in a shootout with a dog? It looks like he's shooting the dog.
There's some pretty crazy stuff happening with the dog, and it's awesome. So good. Speaking of awesome, somebody drives a Jeep out of the back of a friggin' plane and then jumps out of the Jeep in midair. Everyone is excited about this because duh.
Yeah.
At the very end of the trailer, there is this great shot of the three main characters in the three wise monkeys pose. The whole kind of see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, which is it's a cute little sight gag, as well as giving us kind of a snapshot of the different personalities, which I think is nice. It's showing this, not everybody is the, cover your ears and hide. I don't know. I'm reading too much that. But here's something that's completely reading into it too much. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. There's a brief scene in the trailer where Michael is sitting on a couch and he's being asked about his crappy son with a neck tattoo. And later, Trevor makes a remark about him having a therapist. And if you're unfamiliar, one of the big LA stereotypes is that everyone in LA has a therapist. Now, what if, and again, big what if, there was a therapy minigame in GTA 5? I know, we know that Michael's in the witness protection program. Maybe you've got some kind of like court-ordered therapy too. And it could be like an inverse version of the interrogation in LA Noire. It would not be the strangest thing that Rockstar's ever put in a game. Remember Hot Coffee mod, forklift missions, watching TV in a game. Anyway, it's a trailer for a game that doesn't come out for 6 months, and it shows us so many things, and we can make so many assumptions and speculations. You guys should go and just pick through the trailer yourselves and let us know if you caught any details, or if you have any crazy, wacky, harebrained wingnut theories like my therapy idea. I should probably seek therapy outside of a video game. But yeah, for the next 6 months, there's the only way we can play GTA 5 is by using our imagination.
Yeah, and you and I actually did a video this morning with Adam Sessler where we just kind of broke down the trailer and listed what we liked about it, what was going on. You can find that video over on our Rev3 Games channel. That's youtube.com/Rev3 Games. In fact, you can find a bunch of other stuff there that we do.
You should probably check that out.
Yeah, you should.
Those videos.
And on that note, that is all the time we have for today's show. As always, you guys and gals can go follow us on Twitter, where we seek validation on a near daily basis. I am Tara Longest on there. He is Max Scoville, and the show is on there as well at Destructoid Show. We are going to be back here on Friday for another live show. We do those every Friday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on youtube.com/Detroit. So if you just started watching our show, or maybe you're a longtime viewer, either way, we would love for you to join us and throw some questions into the chat, as long as they're not sexual, and not to sound like a brazen temptress, but we usually give out some Steam codes during our live shows, so use that information as you will.
Prizes. What do you know?
In the meantime, we will see you on Friday.
Have a good night, guys.